Morning. Not quite awake yet, but we're going to do book club. Page 31. Um, Halfway down the page. We're on number 9. When can you start doing what you'd like to do? Ask people when they will do what they want to do, and most answer that they hope to do it someday. Why not now? Because you're not ready? Perhaps you're not. But if you wait until you are, maybe you never will do it. Most of the accomplishments I've achieved in life, I began to attempt before I was really ready. When I was teaching pastors leadership in 1984, they asked for ongoing teaching, I wasn't ready to give it to them. But during a conference with 34 people in Jackson, Mississippi, I decided to pass around a legal pad and get the contact information for anyone who wanted to receive a monthly leadership tape. All 34 signed up. Was I ready to start a monthly leadership subscription series? Nope. Did I start it anyway? Yes. When I needed to raise money to relocate my church, did I know how to do it? Nope. Did I start to do it anyway? Yes. When I founded Equip to teach leadership to people in countries around the world, did I have a proven strategy to get it done? No. Did we get started anyway? Yes. Nobody ever got ready by waiting. You only get ready by starting. That's so true. It's so good. Number 10. What will it be like when you get to do what you'd like to do? Because I've had the privilege of doing what I've always wanted to do, I want to help you see ahead to see what it's like. First, it will be different from what you imagined. I never thought that I would affect as many people as I do. I never knew life would be so beautiful. I never thought I would want to occasionally withdraw from people to think and write. But I also never anticipated the expectations others would put on me to produce. When you do what you want to do, it will be more difficult than you ever imagined. I had no idea how much time it would take to be effective. I never expected to have such great demands put on my life or to have to keep paying the price to be successful. I also never dreamed that my energy level would go down as much as it has in recent years. Finally, let me tell you this. When you do what you've always wanted to, it will be better than you ever imagined. When I started investing in my personal growth, I didn't anticipate a compounding return. For me personally, for the individuals I've mentored, and for my team. And I never dreamed it would be this much fun. Nothing else compares to doing what you were created to do. A few years ago at Exchange, a leadership event I host for executives each year, we were privileged to have Coretta Scott King and Bernice King as two of our speakers. We all sat in the sanctuary at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta and listened to them tell stories. What the exchange attendees most wanted to know about was Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. Bernice told us that there were many speakers scheduled to address the crowd that day on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Many of them jockeyed for the best places in the speaking order, hoping to get TV time. Bernice's father gave up his time. He didn't care about his place on the docket. All he cared about was getting to communicate with the people. And when he did, it made history. Why? Because he was doing what he was made to do. The next year, the Civil Rights Act was passed in Washington, D.C. King had followed his passion, found his purpose, and as a result made an impact on the world. People say there are two great days in a person's life, the day you were born and the day you discover why. I want to encourage you to seek what you were put on this earth to do, then pursue it with all your effort. Um, that is so good. I love the Martin Luther King example because he had such heart, such passion. Okay, applying the law of awareness to your life. Oh, there's Sarah. The questions in this chapter are designed to prompt you to know yourself and get on course to do what you were made to do in this life. Here's a streamlined version of the questions. Spend a significant amount of time answering them so you have a plan of action to follow when you're done. Number 1. Hi, Sarah. We're on page 34.
Good morning. I'll just listen. I don't have this book.
Okay, yeah, just listen.
I'm so
Good.
excited. Good morning.
We just finished talking about basically like there's two questions. When can you start doing what you'd like to do? And it's always before you're ready. Like get started before you're ready. And what will it be like when you get to do what you'd like to do? Really hard, basically really hard, but it's good. It's good for you. But yeah, definitely listen in because it was good. And then we're talking
Wait,
about
say that last part after.
I said, what will it be like when you get to do what you'd like to do? Basically really, really hard, but and challenging, but good. Okay, and now we're going to move on to applying the law of awareness. Awesome. So the questions in this chapter are designed to prompt you to know yourself and get on course to do what you were made to do in this life. Here is a streamlined version of the questions. Spend a significant amount of time answering them so you have a plan of action to follow when you're done. So it's kind of like a summary, but number 1, what would you like to do? Number 2, what talents, skills, and opportunities do you possess that support your desire to do it? Number 3, what are your motives for wanting to do it? Number 4, what steps must you take beginning today to start doing what you want to do? Awareness, action, accountability. Number 5, whose advice can you get to help you along the way? Number 6, what price are you willing to pay? What will it cost you in time, resources, and sacrifices? Number 7, where do you most need to grow? You must focus on your strengths and overcome any weaknesses that would keep you from reaching your goal. Okay, so we're moving on to chapter 3, the law of the mirror. You must see value in yourself to add value to yourself. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. This is one I've been working on for the last 2 years, honestly. So personal development is the belief that you are worth the effort, time, and energy needed to develop yourself. Dennis Waitley. I often ask myself, what keeps people from being successful? I believe all people have the seeds of success within them. All they need to do is cultivate those seeds. All right, you guys, it's going to go a little bit longer than 10 minutes, just FYI. I started the thing late. So if you need to hop on, or hop off, I mean, you can. But we still have about 7 minutes. So, okay. All they need to do is cultivate those seeds, water them, feed them, and they will begin to grow. That is why I have spent my life trying to add value to people. I love to see people blossom. So why do many people fail to grow and reach their potential? I've concluded that one of the main reasons is low self-esteem. Many people don't believe in themselves. They don't see the possibilities that God put in them. They possess 100 acres of possibilities, yet never cultivate them because they are convinced that they won't be able to learn and grow and blossom into something wonderful. I will say that I was invited to Ruby Retreat the last 2 years, and I did not go. And it's because of low self-esteem, you guys. It really is. I didn't feel like I was worthy of it, and I didn't feel like I was, because I hadn't met my weight goal. I felt like I couldn't go in a swimsuit. That truly felt like I couldn't go, and it's so sad. And I feel like now I'm at a point where I can go to Ruby Retreat, and I'm excited. So I'm gonna prove that all to you. I'm going to Ruby Retreat in February. Going to Hawaii for my first time.
Yeah.
But it was self-worth. That's what it was. It really truly was. Okay, turning the page. Potential squashed. That was the case of Johnnetta McSwain, whose story I recently learned about. For more than 30 years, she was someone who saw little value or potential in herself. But to be honest, there were many legitimate reasons for her poor perception of herself. She was born to a single mother who didn't want her and told her so. She and her sister Sonia, who was a year older, along with a cousin, spent the first 5 or 6 years of their lives being raised by their grandmother in Birmingham, Alabama. But the house was also shared by 3 uncles who abused all 3 of the children psychologically, physically, and sexually. Johnnetta was scarred both physically and emotionally. Oof. By the time I was 5 years old, said Johnnetta, I had already started to believe that I was not only inferior, but I was also a child abandoned by her own mama. Oh, that breaks my heart. As a child, I had no place, no voice, and no worth at all. When Johnnetta and Sonia's mother learned about the abuse, she moved the 3 girls to a new home. But the abuse continued, this time from the men her mother brought home. Sonia ultimately responded by living on the streets and turning to crack cocaine. Johnnetta avoided drugs, but she spent much of her time on the streets and dropped out of high school in the 11th grade. She had she had her first child out of wedlock at age 19, then a second child in her mid-20s. For the most part, she lived in government-supported housing and on government assistance and relied on her boyfriends for additional support. To keep herself in designer clothes, she resorted to shoplifting. Sonia's perspective poignantly sums up the state they were in. Everybody in my family been in jail on drugs, didn't finish high school, so what have I got to live for? What I got to amount to? Nothing. What I got to accomplish? Nothing. A look in the mirror. Johnetta's 30th birthday caused her to look in the mirror. She didn't like what she saw. She writes, that day I woke up and I realized I had absolutely nothing to celebrate. No money, no full-time job, no home, no husband, and no clue, not even the will to do better. At last, I knew it was time to make some changes. She wasn't happy with her life, and she realized that if she continued in the same direction she was going, her two sons would also be headed for trouble. As far as she knew, not a single male member of her family had ever finished high school. Many died young or ended up in jail. She didn't want that for her boys. For Johnnetta, the process started with her working to get her GED. She took a 12-week course to prepare and then took the test. She needed a score of 45 to pass. She received a 44.5. But she was determined to make something of herself, so she scheduled a retake at her first opportunity. When she passed, she was excited to be chosen to speak at the graduation ceremony. No one from her family bothered to attend. Johnnetta knew that if she was going to change, she needed to leave Birmingham and get a fresh start, and she wanted to do something no one in her family had ever done, to go to college. She decided to move to Atlanta, Georgia, and was motivated by a profound thought. I get a chance to be anyone I want to be. Ooh, that's like chills right there. It took her almost 3 years to pull it off, but she made the move. Soon afterward, she enrolled in Kennesaw State University, deciding to take more than a full load every semester. She was 33 years old when she started school. She was street smart, but not very book smart, at least not at first. That intimidated her in the beginning. But for the first time in her life, she was determined to better herself, and soon she realized she could do it. I realized I didn't have to be smart, Johnnetta explains. I just had to be determined, motivated, and focused. This came with a high price tag for me. I had to exchange my thinking. I had to think like a smart person. Not only did she study hard and stay focused, but she also sought out the smartest person in each of her classes and asked to study with her. Soon she was studying and thinking like the best students in the school. She also maintained the vision she had for her future. At the beginning of every semester, she went to the bookstore on campus and tried on a cap and gown, looking at herself in the mirror and imagining what it would be like to graduate. That's so fun. I love That's kind of like for us going to the Lexus dealership, right? And test driving a Lexus. Be like, oh, this is my Lexus. One day, when a classmate was talking to her, she had a realization. The classmate was saying, I don't love myself. I'm a nobody. Johnnetta responded, you sure can love you if I love me. And that's when it hit her, maybe for the first time. I realized I loved myself. She had changed. She was turning into the person she wanted to be and she was created to be. Johnnetta completed the work for a bachelor's degree in 3 years. Then she enrolled in graduate school where she earned a master's degree in social work. Currently, she's working toward earning her doctorate. I went for something that society told me you can't do, says Johnnetta. Oh, yes, I can. It's a good stopping point. Oh, yes, I can. Love that. So good. I love overcoming stories, don't you guys? So good. Thank you for joining me. My day, this is new for me. I've like always just disregarded my schedule when I travel. And so this is me trying to like still be a responsible leader. So I don't know what I'm doing at 1 o'clock today. I need to look. But oh, I do know actually. I'm picking people up from the airport. So I'm gonna look at my schedule and I'll reschedule my message time. But April, if like 1 o'clock you still need to hop on, like I can try to just start the Zoom on my phone in my car, So I'm going to try to stick to it. But are you wanting to hop on at 1, April?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Okay. So 1 Central Time, or do you want to do 12?
I'm willing to hop,
What was that?
I'm willing to hop on too. I did 30 messages last night. I'm going to do 30 more today. I already mapped out who I'm going to send them to.
Love it. Awesome.
Yeah. As far as time zone, I think it's up to you. I think I'm flexible with other. Bronwyn's got her braces yesterday, and one of them popped off. So,
Oh,
and I don't know when they're going to try and squeeze her in to fix that. So,
okay.
other than that, I'm good. I'm open for the day.
Okay. So what about you, Sarah?
So,
Are you open with times?
Yeah, pretty open. I don't have anything outside of home today, or just, my regular schedule. So yeah, I think I'm flexible. So I'll just try to keep up with my messages. I'm back to work finally because I was out for like 2 weeks. But I'm back and I feel great. And I just got 3 or 4 hours of sleep because I was messaging so much last night.
Ooh,
but it felt.
I love that. I love it when you get on a roll and you just go, 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 go.
you're all digitized. That's funny.
Yeah. I am?
Yeah, true.
Oh, sorry. I wonder if it recorded. Oh, we've been recording this whole time. Shoot.